bridge. Back to the channel. We braved the winter weather to finally get the 95 car here. Let's get it inside the garage. Easy now, keep it steady on the ramps. Watch the bumper on the snow. Okay, we are clear. Let's get her inside the garage. Here she comes, the moment we've all been waiting for. The 95 car is officially leaving the barn. So this is where he ended up. Look at the state of this. We've got a lot of work ahead of us to bring number 95 back to life. The Rusty's logo here is totally peeling. The number 95 is heavily weathered. You can see the cracking and significant corrosion starting right here on the door panel. This is going to need some. The interior is absolutely wrecked. Look at all this mold. We have our work cut out for us. And there it goes. As you can see, this is completely rotted through. We're definitely going to need a new panel here. Look at how satisfying this is. The thick purple foam is absolutely blanketing the car, getting rid of all that grime. Look at this purple stuff go to work. It's pulling all that grime right off number 95. We're using the stiff brush to get years of grime off these tires. So as you can see, the paint is pretty rough under all this dirt. We got the Rusty's logo right there. All right, guys, check this out. We're hitting the rusted panels with the pressure washer to clear out all the loose debris before we start patching. We're slowly raising it now. Once it's high enough, we'll slide these stands right under the designated points and then lower the pressure. Hear that? That's the sound of 40 years of rust breaking free. So the first step is to get some penetrating oil on these guys. Let it soak in before we hit it with the impact wrench. We finally got the old caliper removed, and as you can see, it's completely shot. Just look at the amount of rust falling off this thing. So we'll disconnect the harness first, get this clamp off the hose, and crucially, we need to label this connector here as the cam sensor. Secured the last chain link. Now for the fun part, cranking this hoist up. Slowly, slowly. All right, taking a look inside the engine bay here. The firewall and the frame rails are completely rusted out. We've got a lot of cleaning ahead of us.
Got the final bolt out.
Okay, with the gauges disconnected, we can finally get this column out. As you can see, this sound deadening is tough. You really need the heat gun to soften it up before the scraper can get underneath.
We're using the angle grinder now to remove the rusted sections of the floor pan.
We've got the measurements, so now we're cutting the new steel patch. Once it's cut, we can drop it in and start welding it into place.
All right, guys, getting this floor patch welded in now. You can see the arc really lighting up the interior.
We're grinding down the welds on the floor pan now. You have to be careful to keep it flush. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that looks smooth. All right, guys, so this quarter panel is totally shot. I'm using this silver marker to outline the sections we need to cut out before we weld in the new metal. We're trying to match the curve of the original Rusty's decal here. It takes a lot of hammering and checking, but we're getting close.
Look at that, absolutely showering sparks as we grind down these welds. All right, guys, so you want to mix the Bondo until it's a uniform creamy yellow. That means the hardener is fully activated. When you apply the Bondo here, you want to use firm, even pressure. Feather it out nicely so we don't have any harsh lines when we sand it down. We're just smoothing out the filler on the quarter panel now. This block sanding creates so much dust, but it's essential for getting that mirror finish. Just checking the smoothness of the bodywork now. We need it absolutely perfect before we move on to the next stage. So this is the second skim coat on number 95 here. We're just filling in those last little imperfections before we move on.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling the prep work on number 985 here. We've got the windows and the logos all masked off with the 2-inch tape.
So next up, we're taking the degreaser and the tack cloth. Really got to make sure we clean off all the residue from the molding process before we prime the surface. We're using the 2-part catalyzed paint here to make sure these suspension pieces are super durable and look factory fresh. All right, guys, so we're hitting this with the impact wrench now. Getting the front control arm bolted up on the Lightning McQueen build.
All right, guys, so we got the old caliper off. We're sliding the new drilled rotor right onto the hub. Now for the caliper.
This is the axle for the Lightning McQueen build. We're getting it prepped for paint by sandblasting all the rust away.
All right, we've got the axle lifted into place. Now we just need to line up the mounts and start threading the bolts before we can hit it with the impact wrench. As you can see, we're taking our time with the tape lines, especially around the headlights. We want this lightning bolt to be absolutely perfect. Now for the Rust-Eze Red. Pouring this carefully into the sprayer, making sure it's smooth for that perfect finish.
We're finally spraying the vibrant red base coat. This is where Lightning McQueen really starts to come alive. Look at that gloss.
Getting this fade just right is crucial for the dynamic look. We're layering the yellow very lightly over the red base coat here by the 95.
And here she is, fully restored. Look at that gloss. We got the 95 and the Rusty logos perfectly applied. The winter light really makes the red pop. All right, keep pushing right there.
Got it, using the tool now, and seated.
Looks perfect. And there we have it. The driver's side is done. I'm really happy with how this black carpet looks against the red trim. Now for the moment of truth, let's get these bolts secured. You want to make sure they're tight before we move on to the passenger side. All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're finally getting the Lightyear tires on Lightning. Let's get this lined up. There we go, easing it down now. Look at that suspension travel. The number 95 car is finally sitting on its own weight.
All right, guys, check out the difference on the hood now. This Rust-Eze logo is popping. We're getting that showroom shine.
And there it is, the official Rust-Eze logo. We're just gonna squeegee this down firmly, ensuring a perfect bond, and then slowly peel back the transfer paper. Check this out, guys. The paint job is finally done, and the winter light really makes that red pop. We even got the cartoon eyes on the sunshade.
All right, let's fire up this beauty. Listen to that rumble, folks. The restoration is almost complete.
Check this out, guys, the moment we've all been waiting for. We're taking the Lightning McQueen build out of the garage for the first time.
We finally finished the decals. Look at that shine on number 95. Now let's see what she can do on the snow. All right, guys, check it out. The Rust Amaze build is finally ready for the road test. We just pulled her out of the garage. Listen to that engine roar. Absolutely incredible performance on the snow. Welcome back to the garage, everyone. As you can see, the Lightning McQueen restoration is finished, and the response has been amazing.
We finally finished it. Check out the detail on this Rust-Eze logo.
It's number 95.
The kids absolutely love it.
And here it is, the finished Lightning McQueen build. Check out the Rust-Eze logo and the number 95. It's finally done. All right, everyone, welcome back to the garage. We just finished the drive, so let's get number 95 wiped down before we start on the front bumper. That's a wrap for today's restoration work. We've got the cover on number 95, keeping it safe from the winter chill. See you next time. Check this out, everyone. The engine bay on number 95 is finally complete, absolutely spotless, and ready for the spring thaw. Look at that shine on the new paint. We're really happy with how the Rust-Eze logo turned out. And if you look inside.
All right, guys, check it out. We finally got Lightning out for some premium. It's freezing out here, but she needs the good stuff before we head back to the garage.
Check it out, guys. The restoration is complete. We're taking the Rust-Eze rocket out for its first spin, right past the new Radiator Springs welcome sign. After months of work, here she is, the number 95, fully restored and ready for the showroom. Easy on the winch, steady pressure. Watch the right side clearance. Copy that, watching the gap now. Almost secured. The winter light really highlights the detail. We just finished the final polish on the hood before taking it out for a spin.
We're finally getting the paint polished on 95. Next up, the spoiler, and she's ready for the road. The sound of an